Yeah, of course. So I've been doing some form of, online business for going on 2.5, 3 years at the moment. And sort of like everybody, you sort of flip around and you start one thing and you do it for a little bit and you're like, oh, this is a little bit shit. And then you go to something else and then you're like, oh, this is also a little bit, I'm not really getting this. And you sort of like keep going aside. And I kept going back to this affiliate website stuff and I would read it and I'd be like, this sounds really doable. One of the first businesses I had was completely outside of the affiliate space and everything, but it was kind of in the e-com space and I had no idea what I was doing. And I did the writing for it. I'm an English teacher by trade. I enjoy writing. And I really enjoyed the content side of it. So I was like, oh, maybe if I can do something like this. I always kept looking at it. So yeah, since then I've started my first affiliate site at the start of 2019. It's now sort of halfway through 2020. About a year and a half. I worked on my first site for about a year. Sold it I think it was December. Started a new one. The site that I started just 6 months ago or 7 months ago is now earning about $600 a month. On track for a little bit more. On track for about 800 this month. But I've had a couple of uncharacteristically sort of high days in there, so it's a bit hard to judge that. So getting that 600 to 800 a month mark now pretty consistently for the last 3 or 4 months.
Cool. And the site's only about 6 months, 7 months old?
Yeah, I bought it from Human Proof Design actually, so it could be a little bit older than that originally, but it was one of their fresh sites. It wasn't like an aged money-making site or anything like that. It was one of their cheaper done-for-you sites.
Okay, cool. And how much content was on there, if you happen to recall the initial set?
I think it was their minimum, so it was about 10,000 words. I think they usually have for their minimum, so it was one of those. 10,000 words. Pretty basic content, like decent but pretty basic, and yeah, took it from there and went with it.
Awesome. And was it a niche that you were like interested in? Did you care much about the products or?
Somewhat. It was a sub niche. So what Human Proof do really, really well, I think, is they'll pick a sub niche and then the domain will be like much, much broader. So the little sub niche, I understood it, I liked it, but the broad niche in general is what I liked. So I think I basically, as soon as I bought it, I padded out that first niche a little bit and then just sort of left that there and moved on to the other niches as well.
Okay, cool. And I think, they adapted to that over time, because initially I think they were very narrowly focused, and then they started building sites that would allow you to grow and expand. So that's cool that you were able to, get one of those and get traction quickly. And I know probably some people are thinking, man, that's crazy, because kind of the benchmark in general is about $100 per month after about 6 months, and here you've hit 6-7 times that. So do you have any like secrets on do you think there's any specific thing that you did that helped you get traction so quick on this site?
It wasn't my first site, which is one thing. Like, a lot of people will be thinking that when it's their first site. So I'd already had that first site, which I built to around about $1,000 a month before I sold it. So I knew it was coming. I kind of knew what I was doing. Also, because I had 2 or 3 years content writing experience, I was also writing freelance work as well. My rate as a freelancer is significantly more than I'm willing to pay someone else to write, I guess would be a way to say that. So I could write 1,000 words for somebody else and reinvest it into 2,000 words on my own site, if that makes sense. So that wasn't a major factor, but it definitely let me grow content quicker. And again, for ways to grow, just low competition, thinking outside the box a little bit. My site's at that stage where it's earning good money, but it's definitely earning off 2 fewer pages for my liking. There's one page that kind of fits in to the niche. So using your ballpoint pen example that you use on this podcast and YouTube a bit, it would be like saying the best writing pad if you have a ballpoint pen, which is kind of not in the pen niche, but it's kind of comes in on the side. And that's the one that's earning all the money so far. So I'm like, that's cool. So I'm frantically trying to do that and, frantically trying to build the rest up and get that variety in earning as well.
Cool. And how much content is on the site now?
About 120 posts, I would say. a couple of posts that would be in the 2,000 plus mark. Usually they're about 1,000. Yeah.
Okay. About 1,000 words. So between
Yeah,
1,000
about
2,000.
that. Because there's such a low competition, I usually stick to lower word counts and yeah.
Okay. And what's the breakdown from informational and product reviews?
A lot of product reviews. My sort of theory when I come to writing reviews is I'll target some really heavy competition keywords at the start as well. Like I know I said before, like low competition is how I get the traffic, but the way I kind of see it is those high competition keywords will take kind of 6 months to start doing anything anyway. So I may as well start that 6 months as early as possible, put the line in, and then I use like Page Optimizer Pro and little things like that, and I can just keep updating those as well. So because of that, I would say it's probably 80 to 90% would be money posts at the moment. So not really and that's something as I'm doing now. I'm sort of more investing into the information side of the posts as well. Yeah.
Okay.